listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by. On the morning shift.
Anything
could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you. Thankful that you're here with us. We're grateful to have you on and hope that you had a good Thanksgiving weekend because I know I did. And so been off since, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I feel a little bit refreshed, which is really great. And I hope that you do too. We are coming at you live from CKLU 96.7 FM on the radio, cklu.ca, streaming live on the internet. All you do is you click on the Radio Player Canada app and you can stream us. You can download the Radio Player Canada app, take us with you, listen to us anywhere, anytime on your favorite device. You can also, while you're there, check out some of the merch that we got. And if there's something that interests you, a t-shirt, a hat, a mug, you name it. If you think you could use it to help support the station, we really appreciate that. That's why we have merch. Also, if you already have the merch or you don't really need it and you're able to, all you do is you just hit the donate button and help out the station that way to keep the lights on, the airwaves open, and make it possible for shows like this and other shows to continue, all volunteer based. People have their own shows about their own topics and things that they feel passionate about. And mine is in particular is news and communicating with our community and building a community within our community to help understand the issues that we face each and every day as Sudburyans and as people just living on this planet, trying to unpack and understand the world around us through the news stories that are provided by our local news organizations. And we've developed a news aggregating website, which is called Sudbury.news, which you can go to, and it has Sudbury.com, Sudbury Star, CTV Northern Ontario, CBC, Sudbury, all on one convenient web page, all of their stories. And as you know, now we're not able to share news, not able to produce or share news and have it be on Facebook or Instagram, Facebook being the most widely used social media platform in the world. Our government, trying to help journalists make more money, made it impossible for journalists to share their news on Facebook. So we have made this new aggregator to help get the news out for our local news organizations and to help those who want to know what's going on in the news. So it's basically just our contribution to our community to try and help spread information, as information is in this day of this information superhighway. We can't even share news on Facebook in Canada, which is bizarre. Hopefully the next government that is in power, that takes over after the next election, will reverse that because it's very draconian. And we'll be able to just simply, have our news organizations have a Facebook page and have them share it, have people be able to share it, because I think we were more in the know back in the day when we were able to do that, before this legislation came out. Anyways, it's probably part of a bigger, wider plan. And, but anyways, we could do all we can to try and make our lives as normal as possible and and add a little more common sense, sprinkle that into our daily existence. And I'm sure we'll all be happier and better off for that. So let's dive right into today's show. We're also on Facebook Live at facebook.com/cybernews, YouTube Live at youtube.com/cybernews. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow the channel and the page. Also, we're on other social media, including X, which was formerly twitter.com/cybernews. And we are found also on demand on all of the platforms, including X. And you can click on the Sudbury News Talk tab on Sudbury.News' webpage, and you can watch the show on demand if you don't have a chance. The conversation is continuing, though, on Facebook each and every day. So if there's something that you see on the show and you're watching it on Facebook, you can continue to comment, regardless if the show is still live or not. And it continues. So we'll continue with the weather, and we'll be back after that with news headlines, your comments, and more. So stick around. It's going to be a great show, I promise. And Sudbury Weather brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. Currently, it's 1 degree out there. It's mostly cloudy. Today, you can expect it to continue to be cloudy with a 40% chance of flurries. Yes, you did hear it here first or not. Or rain showers, changing to 40% chance of rain showers this morning. Wind could be gusting up to 60 kilometers per hour with a high of 7 and a low of 1. Sorry, a high of 7. The UV index is at 1. Tonight, cloudy, 40% chance of rain showers, changing to 30% chance of flurries or rain showers near midnight. Wind will be gusting to 50 kilometers an hour, and here's your low of +1 tonight. And Wednesday, cloudy, 30% chance of flurries or rain showers early in the morning. Clearing late in the afternoon. Wind will be gusting up to 40 kilometers, and the high will be 11. And then UV index will be low of 2. So again, tomorrow, another chance of flurries, along with the chance of flurries today. High of 11. Sunny on Thursday, sunny on Friday. Both 16 degrees is your high for Thursday and Friday. Also 16 degrees is your high on Saturday with a mix of sun and cloud, and then a 30% chance of showers on Sunday, high of 14, and then a high of 15, mix of sun and cloud on Monday. So other than, today and tomorrow with this possible chance of flurries, we have relatively nice weather with moderate temperatures, in the double digits, mid-teens in terms of warmth. So that's not too bad for this time of year between October 15th and 20th. And now you have, look at your satellite here, taken at 4 a.m. You got some clouds around and you have some clearing around. So that's your Environment Canada news weather update, brought to you by Environment Canada and SudburyWeather.ca. We'll be back with news headlines, your comments, and more right after this. Stick with us. It's going to be a great show, I promise, or your money back. Okay, and we are back, and you are here with us, and we're grateful that you're sticking around. We have quite a few people on this morning, so hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, holiday, long weekend, and you're feeling good. And with that, Nana's on. Good morning, friends, and blessings to all. Good morning to you, Nana. I hope you're doing well this morning. First on Facebook, and Marianne, good morning, everyone, from Barrie. Liked and shared, as usual. Much appreciated for that. And good morning, Judy, on Facebook. And Monique is joining us with a sunshine emoji. Thanks for that. Good morning, Sudbury. We'll be looking forward to that sunshine. on Thursday and Friday. We got to get past the possibility of flurries of all things today and tomorrow. Belinda, good morning. Sit with warriors. The conversation is different. Isn't it wonderful to gather here for great conversation? Yeah, for sure. There was a great quote this morning I saw. I believe it was on Facebook as I was just doing my quick get ready for the show kind of thing before the show. And it said, the warrior is, I guess, never loved until the enemies are at the gate or something like that. And I thought, wow, that's very true, or a warrior is not appreciated until the enemy's at the gate, something along those lines. But your comment goes in line with that, and we're usually in sync each and every morning, which is interesting. But this is our opportunity to get together each and every weekday morning between 7:30 and 8:30 and be able to, similarly to what everyone would be like at the coffee shop, bunch of friends getting together and just talking about issues and the news and trying to solve all the world's problems. This is what we do each and every weekday morning on this show. So if you're new to it, make sure to drop a comment in the comment section. Just say hi. And again, if you notice that some of the views that are shared here, which are our own, which I'll give the disclaimer now that the views expressed on this show, either by myself, my co-hosts, or those commenting on the show, joining us, are that of our own and not that necessarily of Laurentian University or CKLU's faculty or staff or volunteers. They are that of our own, and we have to take responsibility for our own comments. So those commenting that I'm reading are not my views necessarily. And even the views that we read in the news aren't necessarily our views either. We are just sharing a multiplicity of views on the issues and the news. And hopefully when people listen or watch, they might get a little different take on something than what they normally would have. And maybe we all come away enriched and learn something new and have a wider worldview that enriches our lives a little bit more. And so that's basically what we try to do on the show. And Lucy, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a good morning, and I hope you had a good Thanksgiving long weekend. Monique, grand rising with a heart emoji. And Linda, good morning to you. Good morning from River Valley. And Belinda says, censorship, changing definitions, and rewriting history are the new book burnings. And you are so right, and that is so true. And Rick, good morning to you. Thanks for being on. Marianne, OMG, you swore, LOL, you said the S or F word. Snow or flurries you're referring to. Yes, that is true. I know, it's got to happen at some point where we live. Winter is coming, that's true. And Penny, good morning to you. Thanks for being on. Pat as well. Morning, y'all. Good morning to you as well. And Rebecca, right? Rebecca, as far as I remember. Thanks for being on. And thanks for chiming in, all you guys. Andrea, a lot of newer people that don't normally, comment each and every morning, being on with us. Welcome to you. Thanks for being here. Hello and good morning, exclamation point. I hope you're having a great morning. And you, okay, appreciate you guys. This is your show. It's your conversation on your station, CKLU 96.7. Been around since 1984. We're keeping the conversation going for our community and abroad. Penny says, another downtown stabbing, which we're going to get to in our local headlines for sure. What are police and justice system going to do about the crime? That is a question I think is on most of our minds. And Louise, happy Tuesday, everyone, and enjoy the short week. Yes, you know what? I never even thought of that. I thought of the long weekend, but then it culminates in a short work week, which is always good too, as we want to recharge our batteries and have more energy for our lives, right? So we can get out there and get her done. Also, Denise, blessings, everyone. Good morning to you, Denise. Thanks for being on. And Rebecca says, I started in a big group. Oh, I shared in a big group in Sudbury. Heart emoji. Thank you very much, Rebecca, for that. And thanks for being on, everyone. Let's dive right into some of these stories that we've been talking about or wanting to get to in our local, diving into our local news aggregator, which is Sudbury.news. And first and foremost here, we got CBC with a story talking about a film that was produced here in Sudbury a while ago that was featured at the Toronto International Film Festival, in which I guess the crew hadn't been paid yet. The union representing film crew workers in Sudbury says a settlement has been reached to finally pay some members who worked on the multi-million-dollar feature film 40 Acres, which was shot in the area a year ago and featured at the Toronto International Film Festival last month, as I said. That's from CBC. If you want to know more about that, you just click on it. And Vin's joining us. Morning, Vin. Thanks for being on. And Andrew's chiming in here. Andrew, good morning to you as well. Thanks for being on. I don't know why your morning didn't come up, but I'll get it up here. Denise says, we know women and youth are going to be put in positions of power. Miss Smith is going to allow Muslims to have their own banking system in Alberta. Welcome to the interesting show. You had mentioned, you say in a different way there. But anyways, I did not know that Danielle Smith was going to give Muslim people their own banking system. But, I learn something each and every day. And I do know that there's quite a few things going on in that, on that subject in that area, giving special privileges to some and not others. And we'll look more into that as time goes on. Belinda says Trudeau, yet again, angered India. Scandal follows this lowlife wherever he goes. Really, another scandal featuring India. When I thought there couldn't be any more. And Pauline, good morning to you. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for being on. Marianne says you saw that as well. And Victoria, good morning to you. So many people coming on the show. We're happy to have everybody. Thanks for being on. And the term conspiracy theorist is a comfort blanket that the indoctrinated have been trained to parrot. Once uttered, it allows the incurious mind to slip back into uninformed ignorance. And yes, we know ignorance is bliss. Sometimes I wish I had that bliss, as I know many other people possibly do every once in a while. It's like it's like in The Matrix when that dude who sells out his friends, sitting there with one of the agents at dinner, and they're eating the steak, and he's eating it because he just sold his friends out. He wants to just go back into the Matrix, have his memory wiped out, and just go back to ignorance is bliss. If you haven't seen The Matrix or you don't know anything about it, it's a parallel to the kind of things we talk about each and every day on the show. So anyways, it's just about life is a big computer program, and human beings are just the batteries to have it go. And we're living our lives, but just in a dream state kind of thing. But this particular person who woke up from it, he wants to go back into the dream state, and he's meeting with one of these agents that represent the computer program, and he's eating a steak in a restaurant, and he goes, I know this steak is not real. I know it's not. But it tastes so good, And that's kind of like the way that it is sometimes when you find out a little bit about some of the not so great things that are going on in our world, and sometimes you want to unlearn those things because you go through the steps of grief. If you're not sure what the steps of grief are, you just Google it. What are the steps of grief? So when you start waking up to what's really happening in the world, other than what, the mainstream kind of wants to sell you each and every day. You go through the steps of grief. Like the first is denial, and then you can check out the steps. I don't have them all memorized right now. One of them is anger, and then finally at the end it's acceptance, kind of thing. But yeah, no, that's what we go through, and sometimes we just want to go back to ignorance because it is bliss. But anyways, thanks for that comment. And Denise, Qatar is selling energy weapons to China in the USA. So who do you think is pulling the strings? Well, I know it's a very few amount of people that are pulling the strings for the many, but again, it's a hierarchy, right? There's very few people at the top, and then they have a group of people below them that make really good amounts of money, and that's why they do what they do, because they get power and they get money. And then below them, they get more authority and a little bit less money, and then below them, you have like managers of everything, and it just kind of trickles down from the few. A few bad apples can make, can taint the whole world, basically. Marianne says, I believe support the country you live in or live in the country you support. No special privileges is simple. That I remember you saying that same thing too about support the country you live in or live in the country you support. And I think that's a pretty good slogan. If you made that up, that's pretty awesome. Critical thinking is under attack for sure. And you're here too. You keep changing your handle there, Abel Kane. Now it's Disabled Kane. But thanks for being here. Much appreciated to having you on. And Rebecca says the earth is a school for our souls. I always tell people with information we receive to go low and start slow. That's a great slogan as well. Go low and start slow. Yeah, because sometimes you could, feels like your brain's melting when you find out things that just rock your world, change your life. And it's a lot of times truth will do that. Just unadulterated truth about something will just lambaste you if you're not prepared for it. And so just kind of start looking in, start waking up, start exercising your brain. And believe me, at the end of the day, you'll be happier. That the idea of ignorance being bliss, well, wouldn't you rather know and rather understand than just be in the dark? I was blocked for 87 days. This is Denise, and I just got off block. Woke up this morning and I was blocked again. I can't go live again. I have a head full of information the man told me, and I can't even put it out there. So still in my head, I guess that's where it'll stay. You know what? You could also record things, Denise. You don't have to go live. You can record things too. And if you have a YouTube channel or Rumble or something, you could put your recordings up there. So live isn't, I just go live because it's so easy to do. If I could edit, I would be constantly, if I had more video editing skills, which I could get if I just put a little bit of time into it, which I already do have some, I would be doing more videos and more elaborate videos. It's just live allows me to just do things on the fly. But yeah, you can just record them and you don't even have to edit them. Just record them and upload them. If we went to their country and tried to pull off this crap they do here, it wouldn't fly. Taxpayers are becoming restless of the special privileges that people coming to this country or immigrants get off the backs of Canadian tax dollars. Yes, and you are not the only one who has that sentiment. I know many people feel the same way. Everything is scripted in this world. That's Monique. And Denise says Qatar is the shadow banker and silent partner in this mess. Well, that's interesting. And I know there's many players making this intricate, plan of globalism unfold, in which we will lose our sovereignty as a nation. And many people in this country even are pro that ideology. And that's fine. And they're welcome to it. in this, if it is a democracy, everyone's entitled to their own opinions. And so Monique says, look into the plasma apocalypse. Could it be true? Okay, so many things to think about, so many things to look into. Thanks, guys, for keeping us on the ball. We are at the point right now that even the deniers cannot refute what is happening on the worldwide stage. The corruption is so blatant and everybody's face. No, there's still a lot of deniers, though. I marvel at how many deniers there still are at just things. But like you said, I think there's more and more people waking up to what's going on for sure. TikTok as well. That's Rebecca. TikTok doesn't remove news for now. Okay, so maybe an idea for Denise to use TikTok instead, which a lot of people are using these days, and more people are using it. So there's other options out there. Speaking of some kind of weird dystopian type of news story we talked about on Friday, I think it was. Police seek public's help to set up security camera database. Cam Safe, it's called. Residents are asked to sign up their outdoor security cameras, such as those on doorbells, to camsafe.ca. So if you want to contribute your security cameras into, this database of, that all police can have access to. And I don't know, they didn't really give an example of why you would want to do this. They just said it'll help keep everyone more safe if they have access to your cameras. But I thought, let's say a crime took place in an area, they would come to your house anyways and go, hey, can we see the camera footage? But I guess maybe people don't record it. I have no idea. But they haven't made a case so far in any of these news stories of why somebody would, just give over their cameras to this database or whatever. I like the idea. Sounds like it could work. Or if, our good friend Tyler Clark from Sudbury.com has the story here. And Greater Sudbury Police are looking for the public's assistance in setting up a citywide network of security cameras. The project is simple. Register your outdoor security cameras, including doorbell cameras, online at camsafe.ca, including their location. If police are investigating a crime in your neighborhood, they'll know who to reach out for surveillance footage, which can cut down significantly on investigation times. Okay, so there's one of the benefits. They don't have to come ask you about it. You've already signed up. They can just check into your camera in real time and see the crime. That's basically it. Staff Sergeant Sherry Young explained to Sudbury.com, essentially, we're going to be using this program to assist in our investigations, she said. Normally, what we do is knock on neighborhood doors to see if anyone has information, to see if anyone has cameras, or any assistive information that could move it forward in our investigation. This can take hours or longer, depending on people, if they're home or not, which she said can be counterproductive for a police investigation. An online database of camera locations can be greatly assistive. She loves the assistive word. It's a new word, a new take on the word assistance, which I can appreciate. Greatly assistive for policing organizations, she said, adding that now police will know who might have surveillance footage right off the hop. The main challenge in compiling a database of private cameras is getting public buy-in. That's why the Greater Sudbury Police Service issued a media release last week to encourage people to sign up. The database is only going to be good as the community's participation, Young said. We can only keep our community safe by working together. And really, it's our community assisting police in solving crime. We think it's an effective tool for our organization. One example of a crime type which residents' surveillance footage has helped solve has been hit and runs, she said, noting that if not for video footage of these accidents or these incidents, police would unlikely be able to solve them. CamSafe was launched by Belleville Police in 2021 and has been adopted by several other police agencies since that time, including the OPP. It doesn't come at a cost to police agencies. Signing up is voluntary, and it's up to residents whether they submit footage upon a police agency's request. Now, who is paying for this service then? If the police are not paying for it, it must be a private company. And how do they get money? That's what I would like to know. But anyways, the story goes on. It allows police officers, whether they're investigating break-ins in whatever part of the city or a major crime, to call up CamSafe on their phone, in their vehicle, or on their workstation and geofence an area, see a map and see who's registered. This is what the Belleville Sergeant Jeremy Ashley explained in a media interview in 2021. It's all voluntary, so there's no onus on the person to provide anything to police. Just as a matter of us connecting with them, what is the first step in and that's the first step in an investigation. Only police will have access to the database, and police cannot remotely access your camera. Only police will have access to the database, and police cannot remotely access your camera. Well, if they can't remotely access your camera, how can they see the crime that took place? Okay, well, anyways, that's a question. The service rolled out to all Ontario police services in 2023 in such places as Peterborough, Hanover, Saugeen Shores, and Kawartha Lakes. The police services have all signed on in recent months. All these police services. For more information and registering, including frequently asked questions and some additional background information, they have the link here. I'll click on it, see what happens, and it goes to CamSafe's website. Join the movement to create a safer community. So yeah, so who owns CamSafe? Why is it free for the police to use? They don't have to spend any money on it. So how does it get its money to function? That's a question I have. And are they doing something with the data in order to pay for it, kind of thing? Because data is money these days. Data is the new economy. Okay, so the conversation is continuing here. We'll get the conversations up on the screen for those watching either live or on demand. And just again, little bit of housekeeping here. When you're leaving a comment, you can only pretty much leave 2 lines and a bit. It's all that's going to fit on the screen. If you want your comments to be, seen on the screen for the show on demand, if you have 2 lines, it's perfect. So just to let everybody know. Okay. So Sudbury.com, they came up here on our news aggregator with their stories to start our day. And here you go. So someone brought this up a little bit earlier on the show. So a man severely injured in downtown stabbing. So the latest in is what has turned out to be many stabbings in our downtown this year, and it seems to be on the rise. 35-year-old man accused in downtown Sudbury of stabbing on October 12th has been arrested. Greater Sudbury police say that at 2:30 a.m. October 12th, an altercation occurred in downtown Sudbury around Larch Street, resulting in one victim sustaining a stab wound to the back. The victim was transported to hospital and is recovering from the injury. 35-year-old man was identified and arrested for aggravated assault and possession of a weapon for dangerous purpose. He'll be attending bail court on Thursday morning. Police say there is no threat to public safety. Well, I don't know. It seems like there's a threat to public safety when a lot of people are getting stabbed downtown. But anyways, from this particular gentleman, I don't think while he's being held, there's no reason to feel that you're in danger from this particular person at this particular time. But I don't know. It doesn't seem like he's the only one going around stabbing people. There's lots of stabbings been going around on downtown. So Sudbury.com heard from a woman who says she's the mother of the victim, the 29-year-old man who had gone out to the bar with some colleagues. She said the group was jumped at random and her son was stabbed and 2 others assaulted. He actually almost died and was threatened in the was treated in the ICU with a severed artery and a punctured lung, the woman told us. They put him in for emergency surgery and they were able to repair everything. Fortunately, by the good grace of God, he is doing well. And that's what we would hope our downtown could be, by the good grace of God as well, to start doing well and turn the tables from how we got to this place in the first place. All of the issues that led to our downtown being as dangerous as it is. This person just went out for drinks at a local bar with their friends, and the whole group gets jumped and gets stabbed to the point of his arteries are severed with a punctured lung and almost dies for no reason. Just jumped out of rent. It wasn't even robbed. Didn't say that they tried to be robbed. They were just jumped and stabbed. That's pretty incredible. You know, where does that come from? Like, how does that happen? Why does that happen? Who does that kind of thing? You know? And who's going to do something about it? So, continuing with Sudbury.com, stories to start your day. Intoxicated man with bear banger causes alarm on Bancroft Drive. Bancroft Drive was closed briefly Saturday afternoon after Greater Sudbury Police received several complaints about possible gunshots. After investigating, the officers found that a man intoxicated by alcohol, imagine that, you can be intoxicated by alcohol, anyways, was firing a bear banger in his yard, and no one was injured. The man was arrested for breach of the peace. And then Bancroft was reopened around 1:20 p.m. on October the 12th. So if you're wondering why everything was closed off, that's the reason. Someone was setting off a bear banger. Yeah. Intoxicated man with bear banger causes alarm on Bancroft Drive. Interesting stories each and every day. You can, it just keeps everything interesting for sure. Downtown group urges council to approve a $1.7 million grant for the Scotia Tower, offering a nudge on what they believe to be the right direction for downtown Sudbury business improvement area. Issued a media release advocating in favor of the $1.7 million grant for developer panoramic properties. Greater Sudbury City Council will vote on the municipal grant request on Wednesday, which, if approved, would go forward redeveloping much of the downtown Scotia Tower building's office space to accommodate 83 residential units. This is a downtown Sudbury BIA media release, and it notes represents a significant investment in our community and addresses the critical need for increased housing options in the downtown core. In a conversation with Sudbury.com, downtown Sudbury BIA Executive Director Jeff McIntyre expanded on this idea, noting that the city core's need for greater mix of building use and that residential should be a key part of it. So to have more residences in downtown Sudbury should be a key part of the growth of downtown. I don't know if the latest story we just shared about just random stabbings would want to prevent someone from living down there, but I sure would prevent me from thinking about it. Just walking out of my house, I could just get jumped and stabbed. I don't know if that sounds too appetizing for myself or anyone that I would want to be living there with. I don't think they would like that as well. Back to our news aggregator here. more on the stabbing, but from Sudbury.com. The Sudbury Star. City looks to control frivolous anonymous complaints. This is a follow-up also on the story we've been talking about, where Sudbury.com's editorial staff took exception with the 4 counselors wanting to change up some of the policies in terms. One of the things was keeping anonymity of people complaining, putting complaints into the city. So here's the Sudbury Star now has a story on here. It's also part of their newsletter. So let's check that story out. The one that it's a part of their newsletter. If you sign up for Sudbury Star's newsletter, it'll come in around 7 a.m. each and every morning. And it has, whatever they're covering at the time. I think it's a really great newsletter. If you want to sign up for it, Sudbury Star's newsletter. City looks to control frivolous anonymous complaints. Ward 5 Councillor Mike Parent wants to change the way citizens can complain about members of council. During Tuesday's council meeting, Parent won a motion that could make it difficult for citizens to voice concerns anonymously. The motion indicated that moving forward, the Integrity Commissioner, the Municipal Complaints Watchdog, will grant anonymity only in extenuating circumstances at his discretion. Parent noted that since the city has enlisted the services of an Integrity Commissioner, many complaints have been received and considered. Many of those complaints have come from individuals who wish to remain anonymous. Many of the complaints received from persons who want to remain anonymous have been unsubstantiated and still come at a cost to Greater Sudbury taxpayers, as the Integrity Commissioner must evaluate each complaint received, the motion noted. Greater Sudbury Council wishes to minimize the number of frivolous, vexations, or unsubstantiated complaints. Now, this was something that, so coming from Sudbury Star, it sounds like a little less biased take on what's going on than what Sudbury.com's was. Sudbury.com's was very biased, and they kind of came right out. As you can remember from the show on Friday, editorial. This is from the Sudbury.com editorial board. This is their take on the same story. Ego, not cost, is behind council's complaints review. That's their headline. If you could have a more biased headline, I don't know if you could, than that. A motion to make changes to how the public can complain about city councilors argues, first and foremost, that vexatious accusations are too expensive for taxpayers. But the elected officials behind the motion appear more concerned with their personal reputations than city finances. And they go on to be very scathing in their report of, they say, well, there's 3 councillors that are new, but Mark Signoretti, he should have known better, and things like that. It's really interesting. If you go, you can find it on Sudbury.com and read the whole story. And it's very long. It's very long for an editorial. Usually they're written by people, letters to the editor kind of thing. But this is right from Sudbury.com's editorial board. So pretty interesting. I'm going to keep this up just for future reference because it's a good way to show bias in our media, even if it's local. We do get it. So thanks everyone for commenting. Continue to comment. We'll continue with the news stories of the day. Sudburyans are featured in TVO's series about skilled work, so that's not bad. The show aims to expand awareness among kids of the trades as career options. And there's more on that from the Sudbury Star. There's been another fish species found in our Junction Creek, and it's a molted sculpin. It's been found in Junction Creek to go along with all the other species that we have in our I think there was like 19 of them altogether, 19 different species of fish in Junction Creek. Who knew? All kinds. Long time coming, human remains, artifacts reclaimed by Mississauga First Nation. First Nation holds reparation ceremony after the Canadian Museum of History returned sacred items wrongfully taken from the historical site by archaeologists decades ago. We covered this story a few days ago on the show, and that's great that they're getting these sacred items back. That's all part of reparation, reconciliation as well. There's nothing wrong with if you've taken somebody's history to give it back. I think that's wonderful, and it's a showing that maybe we're starting to work together better and work on a higher level of trust and respect. So here we go. The actual, okay. So now also you got Sudbury.com covering the stabbing. You got Sudbury Star covering the stabbing. So you can catch all that on our news aggregator. Sudbury Wolves, we haven't really talked too much about them as of late, but their game, I think, on Friday, it's going to be on CKLU. We have a special guest. I believe it's the Friday game. I'll let everyone know tomorrow when I confirm it. But Joe Bowen, the famed Maple Leafs broadcaster who used to be Sudbury Wolves, voice of the Sudbury Wolves, will be joining his son, David Bowen, on the broadcast. I believe it's this Friday. It's one of the games this weekend anyways. So we'll follow up tomorrow and confirm which day it is and if it is still going ahead. But you'll have Joe Bowen and his son David calling the game on CKLU, which you can catch all Sudbury Wolves games right here on CKLU, whether they're home or away games. And they just beat the Ottawa 67s 4-1. Now we have 4 wins, 3 losses, and no ties so far to start the season. As the Sudbury Wolves getting off to a pretty okay start this year. And looking forward to a great season. And hopefully we can go into the playoffs a little deeper this year. That's all we're asking for, some playoff hockey. And all we're asking for is everyone to have a good Tuesday, because that's all the time we got for the show today. I had a couple deep dives ready to go, but they would have taken a little bit too long. And it's a little bit along the lines of our financial system. Like, what's behind our financial system? Why do things go the way they do? And why does it trickle down into our overall culture? And why does it seem like our culture is changing? And what's this movement all about? And we'll talk about who's behind. If we're talking about who's pulling the strings of things, we'll have this on tomorrow's show. We'll look a little bit deeper into the banking system and our money system and how much control it has over our lives. And so I hope everyone has a wonderful Tuesday, being back from our long weekend and looking forward to a short work week. So have a great one, everyone. Make sure to like, share, subscribe to our social media channels. Grateful to have you on. Looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU, and have a wonderful, stay safe Tuesday. We'll see you same time, same place on all the same platforms at the same time tomorrow, God willing. Take care. Stay safe. Ciao.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.